Greetings everyone, this is Professor Higgins, your Chinese teacher. And I met with, right now it's September 8th. It's actually September 8th, almost 11 o'clock in the evening. On Tuesday and today, Thursday, I met with several students, some of you, and listened to the difficulties that you were having in getting started. And so I decided that every student in the class would benefit from me perhaps going over in this video what I went over with the students who came to the office to get help. So there's a lot of information here in Moodle, and some students found it overwhelming. So hopefully in a very quick video, hopefully this doesn't take too long, it'll take up maybe 15-20 minutes of your time, I can help you wrap your head around all of this so you can feel confident. So this video that you're watching right now, you can also access it by coming into Moodle and at the very top where it says Help Video. So you can come here and click in here and watch the video that you're watching right now here as well. The reason why I point this out is because I also put this link in the email that I sent you, and so some of you may delete that email or what have you. So you can also access this video right here where it says Help Video. Okay. The items here are important, and you want to take a look at these items here. This is the grading policy. So this talks about late work and points that are taken off for late work. So you want to read the grading policy. If you have any questions about the grading policy, you can ask those questions here. If you have any other questions, you can ask me these questions here, and I'll do my best to answer them as quickly as possible. How are you going to be graded in this class? Okay, well, there are 6 assignments each week that you're graded on. Those 6 assignments are here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so first one here, these 2 here are speaking exercises. This is where you're speaking. So here you're reciting the unit dialogue. Here you're answering questions in Chinese. So here's the recited grading rubric. So if you open up this file, you can see exactly what I'm going to grade you on in this assignment. Here's the culture grading rubric. This tells you how I'm going to grade the culture assignments, which there'll be one each unit. Here it is here. Okay. Practice form grading rubric. Okay, so that's going to show you how I'm going to grade you here. Each unit has 2 forms, the culture form and then the practice form. Online speaking. This online speaking is referring to how I'm going to grade you in this assignment here, speaking practice. And yeah, that's about it. Here's a breakdown of how many points you get for each assignment. So that will be here in this file. In here, in this page, I'll put some internet resources to help you in studying Chinese. Here's the syllabus. And then here's a pesky little thing that I can't get rid of every time I try to delete this. Moodle puts it back here, so just ignore that. Okay, so for the first couple days of the course, so September 1 and September 2, you should have gone through the orientation. I understand Irene came through here, the tropical storm, and so that sort of got us all out of whack, and some of you have lost internet. Okay, if you haven't gone through here, please start at the very top and just work your way through. Okay, this is just a unit overview. It tells you what you're going to do in this unit. This here is a checklist. I'm going to go over this checklist in a little bit. so I'll cover this in a second. This is an introduction to Chinese pinyin. Please go in here and read this if you haven't yet. It's very important. It's going to tell you how Chinese characters, or how the Chinese language has been Romanized using our alphabet. So that's pretty important. This is an introduction to Chinese tones. Please go in and read this. Chinese is a tonal language, so not only do you have to learn how to pronounce the syllables, but you also have to be able to put the correct tone in there. If the tones are wrong, it can change the meaning and you could be misunderstood, sometimes quite embarrassingly. How to write Chinese characters. This is also very important. Please go in here and read this. When you look at Chinese characters, they look like little pictures, and you may think that you can just draw it any way you want. In fact, you can't do that. There's a specific order that the characters have to be written in. The strokes, there's a specific order that you write the strokes in. I go over that here, so please go into here and do that. This is a graded assignment here. Okay, so this assignment is telling you to practice writing the characters in your character workbook 10 times each for the introduction and also the numbers, the Chinese numbers. So please go and do that. Introduce yourself here if you haven't done that yet. And then this is just a reminder that you should check your PSU email daily, because I will email important things to you there. Okay, let's look here where it says start here now. If you haven't gone in here and done these things yet, you want to do these immediately. So let's go in here and take a look. Once you enter in here, you'll have this link here to download the checklist. Click on that link. Your computer will download the checklist. Okay, I've opened the checklist. It's basically a Microsoft Word document. So you want to go through each of these items here on this checklist. There's a total of 6 things that you want to do on this checklist. So read through this very carefully. 1, it's just making sure that your computer, whatever computer you use, has sound and a microphone on it. Okay. If there's a problem with your speakers, or for some reason you can't hear with your computer, or if for any reason you can't record your voice with your computer, then you're going to have to find another alternative for recording. You have to find another computer that can, whether it's a school computer or a library computer or a friend's computer. Second on the checklist is getting signed up for the online workbook. So step 1 is to go to the Chung and Sui site and register on the site. This is free. And you do that by holding down the control key on your computer and clicking. And when you click on this, it will take you here to this Chung and Sui online learning center. If you haven't created an account yet, come down here where it says create an account. It's free. So you'll create an account, you'll create a username, you'll create a password, etc. And again, this part is free. Okay, once you've registered, then you need to come and purchase the online workbook. Okay, you can purchase the online workbook by clicking here. When you click here, it'll take you to this page. Okay, here is the Integrated Chinese Level 1 Part 1 online workbook, student access code. This is the email version, which means once you purchase this item, they're going to send you a code in the email, and I'll show you what to do with that code in just a moment. So you come here, click add to cart. You need a credit card. If you don't have a credit card, get with your parents. If your parents don't have a credit card you can use, ask a friend. And then if you absolutely positively have no way of getting access to a credit card, then email me and let me know. So you click add to cart, you check out, purchase this item, and they'll send you an email with a code in it. So what do you do with that email with the code in it? You come here to where you just created the free account in step 1, and you put in your username and password and log in. And when you do that, you will come to a page that looks something like this. Okay, down here you won't have anything. Nothing will be here because you're logging in for the first time. Then up here where it says have a book key, you take the book key that was emailed to you and you copy and paste it in here, click go, and then once you do that, you will have these two things showing up. Integrated Chinese Level 1 Part 1 Simplified, Integrated Chinese Level 1 Part 1 Traditional. Please ignore the traditional. We are not learning the traditional characters in this class. We're only doing the simplified characters. Okay, when you pay for this workbook, they actually give you two workbooks. They give you the simplified workbook and the traditional workbook. They're exactly the same in content, except one is using the simplified characters and the other one is using the traditional characters. When I assign you work to do in the online workbook, make sure that you're only doing the exercises in the simplified workbook. Okay, when you click on assignments, here's what you'll see. Okay, it appears that I'm not going to be able to show you the student view. But anyway, as I assign items in here for you to do, it's going to show that it's assigned in the simplified workbook and in the traditional workbook. Do not do the ones in the traditional workbook. You do not have to do that. So please ignore that. You'll be only doing the exercises in the Level 1 Part 1 Simplified. Okay, so you're almost done with this. The next step is the final step. So you've created the free account, you've purchased the workbook, that's B. In C, you've received the book code and you entered it up here. Finally, step 4 is to copy this code here and then paste it right in here where you put the book key. This will associate you with my class. So once you put this in here and click go, then you'll be part of my class here at Plymouth State University. So that's the final step. So if you haven't done this yet, please do this as soon as possible. Okay, now that that's done, you'll want to make sure that you've purchased the two physical books that you're going to be using in this class. So the first one is the Integrated Chinese Textbook, Simplified. You can click this link here to buy the book at Amazon. And here's what the book looks like. This is the Integrated Chinese, and I wish that would go away. There we are. So this is the Integrated Chinese Level 1 Part 1, and it's the simplified characters. There's a traditional character workbook that's separate. You don't want to buy that one. You want to buy the simplified character textbook. The next physical book you'll need is the Integrated Chinese Character Workbook. Don't confuse this character workbook with the online workbook. They're two separate things. This is a character workbook that's used to practice writing the characters. I sent you an email about a week ago with pictures of PDFs of some of the pages of this book. So for those of you that weren't able to get the book yet, you could get your assignment done by Friday. So this is the character workbook. It's just a book with characters in it, how to write them, and then little squares where you can practice writing the characters. So don't confuse these two. So for this course, there are 3 books that you need. One is an online book, so it's not physical, it's online. We just went over that. It's the online workbook. The second one is the textbook, and the third one is the character workbook. Okay. Optional but highly recommended are the CDs that that go with the textbook. Okay. Next, you want to set up your computer so you can type Chinese. There's a video here showing you how to do it if you have a PC. On a Mac, you go to System Preferences, you select, I think it's International. It might say Language and Text, or it might say International. And then there's 3 tabs that will appear. You want to click Input Sources or Keyboard Sources or something similar to that. And then you want to select Chinese Pinyin. When you select Chinese Pinyin, there'll be 3 sub checkboxes that will also be checked. Uncheck all of the sub checkboxes. The only one you want checked is the main Pinyin Simplified checkbox. Then, once you've done that, you'll notice that on your computer screen, on the desktop at the top right, you'll see a little American flag, and you can click on that American flag, and you'll notice that you'll be able to choose a Chinese flag. And so when you click on that Chinese flag, then you can type using Chinese. Once you've set up your PC or your Mac to type Chinese, I want you to send me an email showing me and showing yourself that you can use that to type Chinese. So what I want you to do is to type the characters Ni Hao. Okay, and the way you do that is you type in the pinyin Ni for the character Ni, and then Hao for the character Hao. So type in Ni Hao, and something similar to this will happen. Okay, here you can see my cursor. Okay, so I'm going to start typing Nihao. So as you see, as I start typing, this little thing pops up, and this is actually the Ni that I'm looking for. But I'm not going to select it because this program's pretty smart. I'm going to go ahead and type in the Hao, and you can see that here's the Hao. So here's the 2 characters that I want you to type. Now, there are 3 ways that you can get these characters to appear in your document. The first way is just by hitting the spacebar. If you hit the spacebar, then it will put the first 2 characters next to the number 1 on your document, like this. Now the characters are there. You'll see there's a little dotted line under here. That dotted line is giving me a second chance to edit this, just in case I selected the wrong characters. So if I hit the back arrow key, you'll see it's going to give me the opportunity to change these characters if I want to. But I don't want to change them. They're exactly what I want. So I hit the space bar a second time. And now the characters are there. I can delete them if I want, but I can't go back and change them. See, now they're permanent. I can't change them, but I can delete them if I want to. The second way you can get those characters to appear is to click the number that's next to the character. So I'm going to hit the number 4 on my keyboard, and you'll see this little character here will pop up. See that? And now I'm going to click the number 6, and this little character will pop up. So that's another way you can do it. Of course, those aren't the ones I wanted. I wanted the first 2, so I'm going to hit 1 on my keyboard, and then hit the space bar to make it permanent. A third way you can get those characters to appear is just by bringing your mouse up here and clicking on the ones you want. So if I click on this Ni Hao with my mouse, they're going to appear there. And if I hit my space bar, then they're going to be permanent. So type Ni Hao into an email message and email it to me if you haven't done that yet. Okay, the final step, or this second to the final step, is if you have a PC, you want to download Audacity. Audacity is a program that allows you to record and save MP3 files. So this video will show you how to do that. It's quite simple. You can click here to go and download Audacity, install it on your computer. Now these directions need some updating. You're actually going to have to download and install a second small very small file. Okay, that file that you're going to need is called the lame file, L-A-M-E. And you can come to Google and type in L-A-M-E for Audacity. And you'll come up with this in the search results. How do I download and install the lame MP3 encoder? So you just click here, and these will give you the directions for how to do that. You go to the lame download page, you download it, you run it, and then after you run it, it'll place this file right here into this location on your computer here. Okay, and then you'll need this file later. So download Audacity, install it, download this lame program and install it, run it, and then later I'll show you what to do about all of this. Right now I'll show you. Okay, so once you downloaded and installed Audacity and downloaded and installed the lame file, you will come here, you'll open up Audacity and record a quick file. This is a sample of me recording a quick file. Okay, then click stop. So here's what I've recorded. Now, and this is how you record your assignments, if you choose to record them. And I'll talk a bit about that in a moment. So once you have the file that you want to send to me, you come to File, and you choose Export. And then you make sure that this here says MP3. You give the file a name. You should name it the assignment. So for example, Unit 1 recite it, right? Or Unit 1 speaking, and then your name. Okay, that way when I'm looking at a bunch of files, I can easily find your homework and which homework it is. Okay, now at this point you're going to hit save. You're going to click save. Now the first time you do this, when you click save, a window is going to pop up and it's going to say Audacity cannot create MP3 files unless the lame file is installed. Okay, do you want to install the lame file now or something like that? Say yes. You want to look for it. You want to look for the lame file. I think that's what it's going to ask. Say yes, you want to look for it. And when you click OK or click yes, you're going to come up with a new window to navigate, kind of like this window. Then you're going to navigate to this location here on your computer. C drive, program files, lame for Audacity. Inside this folder, you're going to find this file here. Choose that file and click OK or click Open, whatever it says, and then you'll be able to save the file as an MP3. Every other time that you create an MP3 file with Audacity, you will not have to go through this step again of putting the lame file in there. You only need to do this the first time. Okay, so I want to make sure you can do all this, that you can actually record an MP3 file. So the final steps of this is to create a test MP3 file saying, hello, Professor Higgins, this is, Jimmy Carter, or whatever your name is. Create an MP3 file, and then email it to me. And that's it. And then the final thing on the checklist is to finish the remaining activities for the orientation unit. The remaining activities for the orientation unit are the ones that we already went over. Those were the introduction to Chinese pinyin, tones, characters, the character assignment, etc. Okay, let's move on to the final portion of this help video. Okay, so some students have said that the course or the assignments are a little overwhelming. Actually, it's quite easy. It's not overwhelming at all. once you realize what's going on. Okay, every unit is going to be laid out the same. Ignore these dates here, I'll delete those. But every unit is laid out the same. So these first 8 items here are instructional. Okay, so this is where the learning takes place. I would not recommend you going through this learning process on Thursday, a day before the assignments are due. Remember, all assignments in this class are due on Friday. So these are the instructional portions. I would recommend after Unit 1, you'll have an idea of what's going to happen in the other units, because all of the units are laid out the same. You have these 8 instructional pieces and then these 6 assignments that you're graded on. And you'll notice if I shoot on down to Unit 2 here, it's exactly the same. There are the 8 instructional assignments and then the 8 instructional portions and then the 6 assignments. So let's scoot back up here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go in and look at the unit overview. Okay, that just is a quick thing, take you probably less than a minute. It gets you ready for what's coming up. The next thing you want to do is to watch this DVD recording of actors acting out the unit dialogue. So for this unit, the unit dialogue, here's your book, here's your textbook. Here's the unit dialogue for this unit. Actually, yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the unit dialogue for this unit. So the video that you're going to watch here is just 2 people, or however many people there are, acting out this dialogue right here. Now, when you watch this video, you're not going to understand what they're saying because you haven't learned it yet. But I want you to watch this first. And the reason why I want you to watch this first is because I want your brain, it's a neurological activity that's backed up by scientific research, is that what your brain is going to want to do is try and guess what they're saying by the context, by what you see, by what they're doing, etc. Because a lot of language is not just speaking. A lot of language is body language, context, and whatnot. When we communicate with each other, even in English, a lot of what we're communicating is in our facial expressions, the way we move our body, where we are. Are we in a restaurant or are we in a classroom? So all of this has to do or is related to us understanding and communicating with each other. So I want you to watch this video first. It's very short and I'd like you to watch it, 3, 4, 5 times. See if you can guess what they're saying. Then you come here to this video lecture by me here, and in this video lecture I go over sentence by sentence what the dialogue for that unit means. After you go through the Understand It video, then you go to the grammar video. In the grammar video, if we flip through the pages here, in the grammar video, I'm going to go over the grammar section of the book, of the unit, the lesson. So I'll go through one by one through these grammar items and explain them to you very clearly. Okay. After you've done that, then I want you to re-watch the video. Now this is actually the same video that you watched here, but just to make it easy, start up here and go one by one all the way down, just to make it easier to follow. I just put it down here in its own separate place. In fact, it's the same video here. But I want you to re-watch it 3 to 5 times because now you've learned the vocabulary and the grammar, so you should be able to understand what they're saying. Next is a Pronounce It video. In this Pronounce It video, I teach you the new pinyin that was introduced that unit. Okay, so basically what I'll do is I will go through the vocabulary list that comes after each dialogue in the book, and all of the new pinyin that you see here, I'll introduce it to you. Okay, and I'll tell you how to pronounce it. Very clearly, step by step, I'll tell you, what to do with your mouth and what to do with your tongue and how to pronounce all of these. finally, you'll come to this Recite It video. This Recite It video is a repeat after me exercise. And what I'm trying to do is help you get your mouth used to saying Chinese sentences. So in this Recite It video, I read each sentence 3 times, and you're supposed to follow after me. So for example, I'll come to this sentence and I'll say very slowly, I'll say 请问你贵姓? And then I leave enough space, silent space in between the 3 times that I repeat it, so that you can then repeat it yourself without having to hit the pause button. But if you want to try and get more practice, then hit the pause button on the video and repeat after me, and then hit the play button when you're ready to go again. But basically I just go through the dialogue and read each sentence 3 times, and you're supposed to repeat after me, trying to copy exactly how I say it. The goal is to try and mimic the way I'm saying it. So that's what happens in Recite It. Culture It, this is a culture item. Incidentally, in this class, each unit, you'll see this class is broken up into units. Unit 1, Unit 2. Each unit in this course is half of a lesson in the textbook. Okay, so you'll see the textbook here. Okay, each lesson has 2 dialogues in it. Okay, so I break up each lesson in the book into 2 units. So Unit 1 has Lesson 1, Dialogue 1. So in this unit, Unit 1, we go over Dialogue 1. Okay, that's what happens in Unit 1. In Unit 2, we go over Lesson 1, Dialogue 2. So each unit is laid out the same way. Each dialogue in the lesson is laid out the same way. So you have the dialogue in Chinese, the dialogue in Pinyin, then you have the vocabulary. After the vocabulary, you have the grammar. After the grammar section, there is a language practice session. This you can do on your own or with a classmate. You can meet with a classmate. And then you come to Dialogue 2 in Lesson 1. And then Dialogue 2 is laid out the exact same way. There's the dialogue in characters, the dialogue in Pinyin, the vocabulary, the grammar section, and then after the grammar section you have the language practice section again, and then after the language practice you come up to these get there Shirley, to this section, culture highlights. This is at the end of every lesson. So each unit in this class is half of one of the lessons in the book. So this is the first dialogue from Lesson 1, and this is the second dialogue from Lesson 1. Then Unit 3, which is here, I didn't write Unit 3 here. Unit 3 is a test. Okay, so you take a test. Then Unit 4 is from the textbook Lesson 2, Dialogue 1. Unit 5 is from the textbook Unit 2, Dialogue 2. And then Unit 6 is another test. And so in this semester, we'll go through the first 5 lessons in the textbook. Okay, so now back up here, okay, in the first unit of a lesson for this culture activity, you'll watch a video. So you'll go in here and you'll watch a video, and then you'll come down here and answer a question about what you saw in the video. Okay. Then in the next unit, which is Dialogue 2 of the same lesson, the cultured activity won't be a video. It'll be from the culture highlights at the end of that lesson. Okay, so you'll come here, you'll read this, and then you'll go into here and answer a question based on what you saw here. Okay. All right. So once you get to here, then you will have gone through all of the instructional material. Once you finish the instructional material, then you come to the homework assignments. So the first one is the character workbook. So in here I'll tell you I'll remind you to write the characters in your character workbook 10 times each, and then you can take pictures of your work and email it to me, or you can come to me during office hours and you can show them to me in my office. The second assignment each week is the online workbook. Go to the online workbook and do the assignments that I assigned. Remember, only do the assignments that I assigned and only do them in the simplified workbook. Do not do them in the traditional character workbook. The next thing is the reciting of the unit dialogue. That's what this video up here is to help you with, to recite that. You can record that using Audacity or with a Mac using GarageBand. And you can email me the MP3, or you can come to me during office hours and you can recite it in front of me in my office. The next assignment is speaking practice. Basically, you're doing a dialogue with me. And in here is an audio file, so you listen to the audio file and you answer the questions. And record yourself answering the questions and using Audacity or GarageBand if you have a Mac, and then you send me the file. Or again, you can come to my office and I'll ask you these questions, verbally myself, and then you can answer me. The next assignment I already spoke about. You do the activity here. You do the learning activity here, and then you come down here and answer a question about it. And then the last assignment in each unit is this practice dialogue. So you come in here and there's instructions about what to do. So there'll be a question for you to answer, and you answer that question by typing in Chinese. That's why I wanted you to enable your computer to be able to type Chinese, because everything you do here, not in the culture form you can use English, but here you can use you must use Chinese characters. So you answer the question using Chinese characters, and then you ask two of your classmates a question, and you have to use Chinese characters when you ask them the question. And that's it. So each unit is exactly the same. You start here, and you just one by one, you work your way down. And that's it. I hope this instructional video was was useful. And if you have any more questions, call me, email me, or come and see me during my office hours. I have established some office hours, and they are Thursday 8 a.m. to noon and Fridays 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I put my office hours on Thursday and Friday because Friday is the day that all assignments are due, and so I figured you would be ready if you wanted to come to me and do your speaking assignments with me or show me your character workbook, that you'd be ready to do those on a Thursday or a Friday. So that's why my office hours are here. Thursday 8 a.m. to 12 and Fridays 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Let me know if you have any questions.